guys, this is your warning. We do post up spoilers. At times we're relatively offensive. We use vulgar language. So if you think that any of those are gonna offend you in any way, shape, or form, take your step back right now. Because, buddy, this is not the place for you. Anywho, have fun listening to us. And, yeah, this has been your final warning.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Cinematic Anarchy. I'm Chris.
And I'm Zeph.
Nikki.
And we're coming to you here today from the Steampunk Station once again. Fantastic place. And I want to go ahead and before we start things today, we're going to give a quick shout out to Anthony Chernard and Stephen Garrett. They went ahead and made a nice quick donation as they were walking through the cafe today. And please feel free to come down to the cafe for breakfast and lunch during the week. They're here 7 days a week. Fantastic family place. We got a couple of youngsters in the background you may hear call out during the podcast. We don't know.
Yeah.
It's the fantastic thing about doing something live from an on-location spot is that you don't know who's going to pop up.
Right.
So usually we do a podcast based on a bad movie or a cinematic flop. Today we're going to do a podcast on a movie called Snowpiercer, which wasn't necessarily a cinematic flop, but they had a rough time getting released in the United States.
Yeah.
So I guess from what I read, what happened with this particular film is that they got fantastic distribution all over the world. And then, of course, they reached U.S. distribution,
And everyone decided nitpicking plot holes.
No, that wasn't the big problem. Harvey Weinstein got a hold of it.
Oh, God.
And he said, to get wide release in the United States, what we want you to do is we want you to cut a portion from the beginning and cut a portion from the end, and we want you to do narrative at the beginning and end of the movie. And the director said, no, we're not doing that. Okay, we want it released as is. And so it took them a while to get released in the United States, and I think they may have gotten released to art house theaters, about 115 theaters in total. So they did not make a lot of movie in the States, not a lot of money, sorry, in the States for this film. And that was in part thanks to Mr. Harvey Weinstein, and thanks to the wonderful folks at Netflix. They picked it up after the art house run, and everybody got to see it. And it is a fantastic movie. So we're not going to talk about a bad movie this time. We're just going to talk about a movie that got sort of a bad rap to begin with.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna let you guys talk for a minute about your initial impressions about the movie.
Okay, first of all, Gray is my favorite character. The silent guy with all the tattoos. Oh no!
Oh, we fell. Okay. See, sorry about that.
He was a good character.
The silent guy with all the tattoos.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I love him so much. I cried the first time I saw this movie, and he died. Oh, my heart.
I didn't know what to expect when I
that
first started watching it. Yeah, that was the guy with the tattoo.
The guy with the tattoo, he bit it like
The
near the
little
end of the
guy
movie and it looked like a sauna
jumping all over
room.
the place.
Surrender or Die.
Yeah.
Yeah, he died near the end in that sauna room.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yep. I know where I'm back on board. Go ahead. Keep going.
Yep. Oh, I loved him so much. I had no specific reason to love him. I just did. But
there's plenty of reason to love him. He popped up at the best moments, had the best fight scenes in the movie.
Yeah.
Plenty of reason to love that guy.
But no, Chris Evans was great in this movie.
To me, though, I just kept thinking, like, all right, Captain America, what are we gonna do? Like,
Captain America ate kids and knows that kids taste better than adults.
I thankfully first watched that movie before I saw Captain America, so I'm not immediately... Mind you, I didn't get it before the Fantastic Four, so I still had the whole Johnny Storm thing going on in my head.
So it was a very well put together movie. I enjoyed it.
I did feel there were some plot holes, there really were. You know, there was a whole scene where I think it was probably one of the first conversations that he had with what's the name of the gentleman that helped him open all the doors from point A to point B?
Nam. Namjoon.
He had a conversation with his daughter, and the daughter asked how long he'd been on the train, and he was 18 years on Earth and 18 years on the train.
17.
17, sorry.
And he was talking to Nam's daughter, asking how long she'd been on. She said, I'm 17, so you're a train baby.
And so they didn't really get into the explanation of how long the train had been going around that track.
Yeah. I'm assuming it was 17 years.
Yeah.
I think it had to have been longer. Because
we reached the 18-year mark. They hit the Happy New Year.
Happy
and
New Year.
then from that point on in the film, they just started saying, 18 years.
Yeah.
I feel like there's something that we're missing. Something they brought up during the movie that they didn't address. So, the problem that I was having, Tilda Swinton's character, she had this whole speech about the head of the train and the tail of the train, and don't try to be a shoe.
A shoe
on the
is
head,
not a hat,
basically.
yeah.
A shoe is not a hat. Be the foot, and be the shoe. And the whole time she makes this motion with her hand. She makes this motion that they do a nice little close up on where she reaches out and does that little twist that you find out at the end of the movie is the little kids that are under the floorboard.
Yeah.
That's the motion they made. That thing
pull
that
the
happens.
shit out of the engine.
It's muscle memory.
Yeah.
Which makes me think that she was a child underneath those floorboards at one point.
I don't think she was. I think that she's one of the people training the kids how to do that.
You think?
Probably.
Okay, because I mean that makes a little bit more sense. Because the way that I was thinking of it is
you already
like
know that Wilford's not going to be the one doing it.
No.
She's she says Wilford likes kids, but that's because she's teaching the kids how to clean the engine, the sacred engine.
You know, when they're like, oh, he likes kids, I thought he was like, oh, he's eating them.
He's he's either eating them or he's doing unspeakable things with them.
When they first find out what they've been eating, though, like I kind of
The
figured it was
roaches?
something like that. Yeah, but like it was just they were just crushed up roaches.
Well, that was the first thought that came to my mind anyway, near the end of the movie when...
I mean, I don't know why Chris Evans was so like, oh my god, about the roaches. 'Cause you guys are eating black jelly, basically.
Yeah, basically a black
You should
gelatin
you
of
should
some
you should
sort.
expect that the process is disgusting.
It's like the nastiest fruit gummy ever.
Yeah.
Because it's like cockroach flavored.
Yeah,
They didn't know cockroaches from meat. They didn't know what the hell was in it until...
I mean, they've been eating people up until this point, so...
Don't you tell anybody what they're eating. Don't. It's... Yeah, just processed bricks of cockroach.
Yeah.
When he tells them like don't tell people, don't draw this, you know what I mean? It's because I guess he
'Cause
felt
people are
more
gonna
degraded
freak
at
out,
that
yeah.
point, you know.
But no, I
But at
was...
that point, most of the tail end of the train had been murdered anyway.
And I think that they murdered a vast majority of the rest of them nearing the end.
They wanted to leave 18 people to celebrate the 18th year.
Right. Fantastic. Well, of course, they also need new children when they need new children. So,
Yeah.
I mean, you
So
got to
it
leave
had
some
to
people
be
in the tail end of the train to
relatively
procreate.
younger people. And most of the younger people were in the fight and got killed.
I was just, I loved the movie. I mean, obviously there was some points in there that kind of didn't fit, but you know they have stakes. And the reason why my mind went immediately to the fact that Wilford is eating children was because they went from the back of the train to the front of the train, and never once did you see a chicken or a cow.
Exactly.
Obviously.
But Wilford's eating
There was
steak or
some
whatever.
the chicken and the meat hanging upside down.
I totally
Where'd
missed
that
that.
go?
They walked through the freezer.
Did they?
Yeah, they
Oh
walked
my
in
God.
and they're all being hung
Well,
up.
they may have walked through the freezer, but how did they get the eggs?
Through the chicken with the chicken and the cows. They must have skipped the car, but where
I
I
guess
saw
some kind of cryogenic thawing system in this place as well. I mean, obviously you didn't see every car from point A to point B. There were plenty of cars there.
Yeah, they only showed you a few, but like when they did the expanded view of the train, that shit was huge.
Yeah,
there was way more cars than
they
they
were
showed.
able to completely turn all the way around and have a gun battle.
A gun battle from train to train.
Which I enjoyed. That was a good scene. Like,
Yeah.
I felt like as fast as that train was going, that turn, they would have had to go around in a circle, just spinning around in a circle, downward or upward,
Yeah.
to make that work.
just have a long enough circle for one complete motion.
Right.
Everything's already destroyed anyway.
Maybe a couple of shots would have gotten fired off, but that went on a little too long.
Yeah.
There's minor plot holes. I mean, other than that, the movie was fantastic. I loved William Hurt as Wilford. You know,
John Hurt.
John Hurt?
John Hurt.
Why did I say William?
Because his name's William. Or is
Wilford.
it Wilford?
Yeah, okay. I mixed up the two names.
But, no, John Hurt is an amazing actor. I loved him in Doctor Who.
You see that, the coffee, it's empty. The brain tends to empty out a little bit if there hasn't been enough coffee in the system for too long enough.
I literally woke up like 2 hours ago. I'm still waking up.
I'm trying to find this scene because I know for a fact.
I thought that's what you were doing.
Yeah.
Well, nobody can see it anyway.
Well, you guys can see it.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh my god, I'm getting spammed with emojis on my live.
So we are currently recording for a feed for YouTube. We also are we're going out live on TikTok right now. If you want to go ahead and run over to TikTok and
you got us.
Bring up Honey Be Kind, Miss Nico over here. Nicole B. I'm sorry. She is recording on her live feed on TikTok right now.
And if you're not already on TikTok, you should go on there and check out my rants about this whole bullshit abortion issue. I'm talking straight facts. I appreciate those of you men out there who understand that if it's not your body, it's not your decision.
Well, we're two of those guys.
Exactly. I appreciate you.
I don't even want to call that being an enlightened individual. I want to call that having a natural logic center in your brain.
Yeah.
You know?
This isn't
not my
war
chair,
on
not my problem.
women's rights. It's a war on basic human rights. It affects the rest of the LGBTQ plus spectrum as well. And like they're just trying to take away bodily autonomy.
We've been trying
Anyway,
to...
this isn't a political podcast.
No, this is not a political podcast. But either way, we're trying to convince Miss Nico B over here to go ahead and set up her own YouTube channel. We'd love to see that. We want to see you get out there and doing something socially conscious on YouTube, because that would be fantastic. It'd give you a much wider audience too.
Yeah.
Even though you've got like 50,000 followers on
I just
TikTok.
broke the 50,000 mark yesterday.
Congrats.
Hey.
Well, just think about that. You tell them they're up on YouTube as well.
Yeah, and most of the
a lot of those people will
TikTokers
float
are on
over there.
YouTube.
So.
Yeah, but as with Snowpiercer, though, I was very. It started off as I was interested in the movie, but by the end, I did see a whole bunch of plot holes.
Yeah.
One thing though, during that gunfight when they were shooting through the window and you see the snowflake come in, somebody told, I don't know if this is true, but somebody told me a while back that it won't snow in -degree weather. I don't know how true that is, but if that is true, I see why that one snowflake came in and he realized, he was like, it's okay to be outside.
That,
you know?
and try not to swear with little kids in the background, but where did the polar bear come from?
That's the thing, the polar bear survived.
Well,
how did it survive though? If everything was frozen over, if everything was eliminated when they boarded the train, where did those animals hide? Where did
I think there might have been a little bit of bending of the truth to make this, because they made the train seem like a religious experience throughout the entire movie. You know, the engine being God.
Yeah.
You know, and
well, Wilford being God, the engine being
their
universe.
I want to say the engine was more God, and Wilford was more like the central Jesus figure. You know.
I guess so. Yeah.
Actually, no. I think you may be right. I think they have him as the creator. You know, and
then the train would be their universe, their world.
Yeah, I created this world. I keep it up and running. It's self-sustaining with these little kids under the floor.
Yeah.
But there was definitely a lot of social class commentary. There was definitely a lot of commentary of a biblical nature throughout the entire movie. And I think that maybe as things like that go,
Wilford.
There are truths that are kind of omitted to keep the whole thing running.
Yeah.
Because if all truth is sitting out there right front and center, a lot of those people are not going to be buying Mr. Wilford is God, and this engine is their only universe.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is exactly how things ended up, shit ended up hitting the fan.
That's why
I'm
you have
not
a
quite
prison
as famous
sector.
about swearing around kids because I got my own kids.
Yeah.
No, but they had their prison sector for anybody who didn't follow their specific rules as well.
Which was basically like,
I mean,
it was like cryogenic freezing almost.
Yeah.
Well, you basically were put on a morgue slab and kept in a box.
Yeah.
okay, except for the people that the last car, they wouldn't even bring. The prison would be an up keep from where they are.
I wonder what they did with all the dead folks.
Throw them off.
Do you think they throw them off? Do
Incinerate.
you think that maybe there's a little less truth and they're like,
Eating
hey, we got some new steak.
Yeah.
We
I
just
mean, it
this
makes
is
sense.
right.
Toss them in the cockroach blender.
There you go.
Then it's
Protein for the folks in the back to eat.
I mean, if you toss them in the cockroach blender, wouldn't they at least have like a red tint-ish from the blood?
maybe future ones. You know what I mean?
Well,
Yeah.
those things were like jet black.
I know they were jet black, but like they still had that little shine that you could like, if there was any extra color than blood or anything, that would give it a tint if you like held it up to a light.
They're trying a new flavor this week.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why there was no light in the tail. I mean, there was barely any light at all back there.
Yeah.
So, you're not going to see that glint unless you get halfway out there to one of the areas where there's windows.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we kind of stalled for a minute there.
They're just
Was one of my favorites.
which one?
The tunnel
Yeah.
where homeboy came running through with the torch.
Running from end to, it was like a
Hello,
relay.
Gray.
It was like a relay. You had, I think, 3 people in total.
Yeah, it
Carried
started
that
off
torch.
with
Started off with a
Chan.
kid,
That
and
was,
then
that's all the generations. The guy who got his arm completely shattered off
Yep.
within a 7-minute period.
of course it ended with your favorite there.
I love Grace so much.
And when they brought the light back into the situation, they realized that the shit had truly hit the fan. And
Yeah.
good for them. And that's when they managed to first capture, was that
I
Mason?
kept trying to figure out where I knew the teacher from in the classroom.
Okay.
Allison Pill. She was in the American Horror Story Cult.
Oh, okay. I don't,
She was Ivy.
not entirely sure where I recognize her from. I remember, I didn't get to watch American Horror Story, so she
That
She tripped
that
a different
whole season
memory
was
for me.
garbage, though. I
Oh.
hated that they focused all on like the whole election and Trump and everything. Like, I hate that people are just giving Trump this fucking platform. Ugh. But yeah,
where
Allison
did we get
Pill.
off on that? Oh, never
she,
mind.
she was in the American Horror Story Cult, and
Oh.
that whole season was just about Trump and the election, and it was garbage.
So I recognize Allison Pill from Scott Pilgrim. She was the drummer.
Yeah, I loved her as
If I drop him off early for school,
what was her name in Scott Pilgrim?
Let's figure that out. It's a wonderful thing about having phones and computers all around you. You can go ahead and research things at the drop of a hat.
My brain is just fried
So
today.
Allison Pill played Kim Pine,
I knew it was a K.
Scott Pilgrim's friend in the what do they call the name of that group? The
Sex Bomb!
Sex Bombs. Yes, that was like a take on
We
that
are
little
Sex
bomb
Bomb!
character
We're here to
from.
make you sad and have feelings and stuff.
That's also a fantastic movie that didn't get a really good push in the theaters, but did
I'm pretty
fantastic
sure
when it
I
came out.
watched, when it first came out, I'm pretty sure I watched that movie like 30 times in a row. I couldn't stop laughing.
I kind of like Michael Cera's like dry humor.
Yeah.
You know, like just I thought when what's it? This Is the End, when he was
Yeah.
in there and he was completely
I
different
feel like
than
that's how
anybody.
he is like in real life.
That
And
was,
this is
it
the
was
end.
so funny.
Arrested
Like,
Development,
What?
Yeah,
the TV show Arrested Development. Have you seen that?
No, I haven't.
Oh, bad.
you need to watch it.
Bad you.
You need to
go
watch
and
it.
watch
It's
that.
great.
All right, I'll put it
Arrested-
on my list.
Arrested Development
I still need
is
to
probably
finish
one
the
of my
most
favorite
recent
TV shows.
They're still coming out with episodes. I still need to finish the most recent season on Netflix.
I'm surprised, after that whole scandal with Jeffrey Tambor,
Yeah.
Amazon did away with him on his TV show Transparent, but did not get done away with on Netflix. They kept him on Arrested Development. So, but mind you, they got rid of Danny Masterson
Yeah.
from The Ranch when he had his own little scandal. I don't know.
That was Hyde, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I like that they got those two guys back together. It was a fantastic show. I really, God love Dax Shepard. I really do like him, but I really did not feel he was a good replacement at all.
Not at all.
Honestly, give him his own show. Don't make him the second to
secondary
somebody
character,
else.
yeah.
He doesn't need to be that. Hey, I'm here to
That
replace
was
your
a
brother.
sidekick, yeah.
No. But that's neither here nor there. So I guess the general consensus across the board is here that we all loved Snowpiercer. Fantastic film through and
It
through.
was great.
Not a bad movie like we usually discuss.
Like I said, when I watched it though, I did. They had the translator between him.
Initially.
But I didn't have the subtitles at all, so I had to make it up
Yeah.
as I went, which kind of made it, in my sense, like a bad movie. But like
Where did you watch it?
on Showbox,
Oh,
That's why you
okay.
should have watched that.
So
I should have, but like I
did
like
they
the
scrub
feel.
them then?
Yeah.
Because Netflix, they had the subtitles. Like, even if you didn't have the subtitles on, the subtitles were part of the movie to explain
Yeah.
what he's saying back and forth. So that should have been there. Did they maybe you get a version that was scrubbed of all subtitles, like maybe a foreign version?
Possibly.
Maybe you got one that was like originally released in like one of the Asian countries.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like then it's great quality, but
Okay,
They know
next
what
time
it is.
watch it on Netflix.
Well,
it was
Yeah,
good.
Netflix and Hulu
But
first, always.
I watch anime anyways, so like I kind of felt like me and this guy vibed the whole time. I was
Yeah.
like, I got what he said. Like I felt like I knew. Like
Right.
even
I
without
get
the
you, bro.
translation, it was like like when he's pointing at the door without the translator, he's like, hold on.
You know you're a nerd when you watch enough anime to know what the guy's saying without subtitles.
Right, but I couldn't speak it if I wanted to.
Yeah.
But I could definitely just like, okay, I'm picking up what you're putting down.
I think Chris Evans did just good enough role in his role as Curtis to give you an idea of what he was saying, even when you couldn't understand what he was saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's it. That's also another thing, like how he would react, and he would also, they would give you that, like, what do you mean you're gonna blow the door up? You know, like, which everybody dies, everybody except for these two.
Yeah, exactly. Everybody dies anyway.
We weren't just gonna bring this up at any point. That hit me really hard.
The two kids are the only ones that got out of the train.
Yeah,
So
like, what are they gonna do?
is this Adam and Eve now? Like, what's going on?
I
Like,
guess so.
like,
This girl's gonna have to repopulate the earth with this
Little kid.
child.
who was a slave at one point?
Yeah.
You know, and I
She was a prisoner.
I'm not gonna lie, I did not like the ending.
No, me neither.
She was a drug addict. Where are your drugs now?
Right. I mean, I really feel like the father, at the very least, should have gotten out there. But then again, how do you repopulate the world that way?
Yeah,
And-
exactly.
That would have
I
been.
feel like
And
Chris
you know
should
what
at
else?
least survive.
Yeah, and you know, so you have this
Right.
polar bear now, and they're
God
staring
damn
at
it!
the polar bear.
I'm recording,
and
woman!
Our live feed gets quickly interrupted.
No, but it's like,
This is what happens when you bring cell phones into live feeds. Sometimes people want to get a hold of you.
yeah, but both of those people never.
She
heard
has
of
my
a bear
TikTok.
before.
She can
Uh,
jump in the chat if she needs to talk to me.
If it's that important, you know.
I told everybody that I'm like working all weekend. I'm speaking on the podcast today. I'm doing this. Like I'm a busy person. If you want to hang out with me or see me at any time, you gotta plan that shit like a month in advance.
if you get a chance, roll back to the very first video that we put out on Facebook. So that very first video that we put out on Facebook, it was just me and Omar sitting over here, and we were just kind of chatting back and forth. And what ended up happening was nearing the end, what ended up being the end. We didn't want that to be the end.
Yeah.
I'm ushering Alex over here. And Alex is off to the side over there. You don't get to see Alex. Alex is being nice and quiet and listening and not saying anything. So my son is sitting right across the way. Does not want any part of this and is turning red as we speak. So I tell Alex, I said, your mother's trying to call me through Facebook right now, and I'm recording through Facebook. Yeah. So go see what she needs. And she goes off over there, and where me and Omar just keep talking, and a couple minutes later, Alex pops up behind me and goes, "Mom's pissed at you." And that's where we got everything. We're like, "Yep, gotta go."
Oh my god.
So, all right.
Life,
so what I'm going to do here is we need to go into a little bit of advertisement. We're going to go ahead and talk up Podcoin, which is a wonderful app that we've actually gotten permission to put our podcast up on. And then we will get right back into the second segment of our podcast. And now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and get into a little bit of trivia. We got another little set of trivia cards. And I actually realized after going through the inventory over at Amazon, as vast as their inventory might be, it does not look like anybody has bothered to put together a low-budget film and or bad movie book of trivia. So I think we're going to start making those ourselves. We're going to come up with some questions on things we've watched.
And that's ours.
The more obscure, the better. But for right now, we have got the big movie quiz trivia cards. I like these because they come out and the box has like little VHS-C cassettes.
Yeah.
And the trivia cards come in. That's that. The sound of cards. And we'll go ahead and start with you, Mr. Zeph. You can go ahead and read out the first question here.
So they have 3 different categories for this particular game. One is Oscar winners, action movies, and comedy classics.
So I'm going to just put this out here right now. We should never read anything from the Oscar winners, because that is not what we're about. To hell with the Oscars. Nothing that we're recording or we're talking about belonged in the Oscars.
All right, I agree. I took 3 complete random Oscar ones. I didn't even look to read for the questions.
Oh, did you already read these questions?
Of course, I've already read these questions.
Oh, so we can't ask you anything. You already know what's going on.
You guys can pick out your own questions for me.
Well, shit.
But
you little fucking cheat. I'm telling you.
Well, I thought I was the one reading the questions.
Okay. Well, I mean,
look. All right. See these 2 separate ones there. I haven't read yet.
Okay, so is this what you want to do now? Are you going to be the MC? You're going to be the guy that reads the questions every time we do this?
Yeah, because you know way more about movies than I do.
What happens when we all bring our own questions?
At that point, I won't just be the guy reading our questions. You read the questions off to us, and then we'll answer.
And it'd actually be entertaining. What we do is we watch the movie a couple of times through, come up with our own little trivia questions to ask each other at the end.
Yes.
Then the best ones at that point we'll be able to throw into our game that we create for bad movies.
Nice.
Oh yes, right. We're gonna try to put together our own little bad movie game and maybe market it at some point. Get a little Kickstarter going.
I'm fucking ready.
You know. So this one here.
Before we get into that, we are definitely making Miss B over here a permanent part of our little diligent derelicts crew here.
I'm game.
By no means you owe us anything. You've given us plenty.
Let's formally ask: would you like to officially be a part of this cinematic anarchy world? That Chris has created and shared with all of us.
I would.
Now hold on. You've given me a little too much credit. Way I'm looking at it here is this. The Diligent Derelicts, that's actually the group here. This is just a single podcast. I feel like everybody should branch out, do their own stuff. Get your stuff up on Anchor, get it wherever you can get it.
Yeah.
And we have a little group here that's, I believe, got plenty of different interests, like you have interests in anime. And eventually I think you should branch out. Go and do a little podcast about anime. If you want to do it weekly, fine. You want to do like a monthly, do whatever you do. You've got a fantastically, Miss B, a fantastically socially conscious mind. And I really think that's your thing right there, is that you've got a hell of a voice. I've watched you on TikTok through several videos, and if you are not following her yet, if you are not one of the 50,000, go the hell over there, look up Honey Be Kind, and follow her. the 20 people that are currently listening to this.
Yeah, right.
Tell your friends about the podcast, though. Definitely do that.
Always tell your friends about the podcast.
Like we said before, tell your friends about the podcast, tell your family about the podcast, and if you absolutely hate us, tell your enemy.
I mean,
Yeah.
There you go.
we even
Trick
had-
your enemy into listening to the podcast.
if you want to talk about this guy, I do the guy who actually gave us some feedback on how he listened to it. He's like, it's not really my particular type of podcast, but I gave it a listen, and here's some input on that. If you
Yeah.
guys have some input, throw it in there. Like
That was a
You know?
fantastic thing that he did. He reached out to us and he was like, "Oh yeah, I can hear this kind of tapping and so on and so forth." And what you should do is
just
try
put a piece of foam underneath the mic.
not to tap on the table. And I didn't listen to him at all.
Yeah.
I've been over here leaning against the table and tapping and doing all sorts of other stuff. So you getting any of that feedback? I'm sorry.
Yeah, but like anything you guys feel like we're doing right or we're doing wrong, feel free to comment.
And like I was saying, if you don't like us, you hate the podcast, go ahead and then play it for that enemy that you've lashed to your basement. You got the guy in the wall in the basement, just play it to endlessly torture him. I don't think that's us.
No
I
more
hope
Britney
that's not
Spears
us,
for
but-
Al Qaeda. We got our podcast for him.
Oh no. And once again, Seth went across that line just a little bit.
I went across the line. All right.
Okay.
It's like I went across your line. My line is way further.
Yes. Your line is quite a bit farther south than mine is. All right, so we've got a handful of fantastic questions from the Big Movie Quiz box set, and I guess we'll go ahead and start. Go ahead.
So with this first one here, this is action movies.
Okay.
All right. So we'll start off with nice simple question. What is the name of the third film in the Die Hard series?
Well, that one's easy. You know that one?
No.
You've never seen Die Hard?
I'm pretty sure I've seen all of them once, and that's it.
I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that is the one that stars alongside of Samuel L. Jackson, Die Hard with a Vengeance.
Oh my god, why is... Okay,
That was the
that came through my mind, and I was...
that was the first Die
I
Hard
don't know
movie
it.
that I watched.
Really?
Yes. So
See-
I watched it completely out of order.
I've watched all of them. I really feel like the second one belongs on our podcast at some point because that second one was so horrible. However, I do have an appreciation for that near to end scene, the whole let's light the stream of jet fuel that's coming out of the plane and blow it up, yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker. Now, this next question, I picked this particular card just specifically because we were talking about it earlier. Minority Report. But
Okay.
in what year was Minority Report released?
Oh, that's a good one.
I have no idea.
I'm going to shoot out 2008.
Nope.
Nope.
You got any guesses?
Is it before or after 2008? Can you give us a hint?
I'll give you a hint, but I don't think you understand the rules of the game.
Probably not.
Yeah, that you can
So-
give that hint. That's
No, so it was before 2008.
oh.
1998.
And after that,
Ah.
2004.
still less than that. It was 2002.
202.
Mother.
Okay.
Fuck.
2002, not 202. That
Yeah, 202.
202 is a little bit
that.
before
Psycho
even.
movie,
Yeah.
2002.
Okay. Yeah, not 202.
Where's the mammoth?
Maybe that was some of that there was going to be some mammoths at the end of Snowpiercer. It wasn't just the polar bear.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't know. I don't know how they were
Well,
going to
if
repopulate anything
I
with
was
just a
gonna
polar
say-
bear around.
If mammoths were already extinct when
But the elephants evolved into mammoths. They pre-evolved.
I think elephants are the evolution of mammoths.
Right, and then they de-evolved
One like
because
Or
of the cold.
after evolution
Yeah, and then they, instead of evolving further, they
evolved
degrade.
backwards. True
They become
that.
mammoths
I
'cause
don't
of the
know.
cold.
I don't know if it would it work like that. Does it work like that?
You'd shed your hair if it was hot all the time. In what film did Keanu Reeves play a federal agent called Johnny Utah?
Oh my god, I know this. Mother. Shit.
I love
It's
trivia.
an action film, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
See,
Federal agent
that's what I like
Johnny.
about trivia questions, because I know you guys know this.
That's not Speed, is it?
No.
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 federal agent called Johnny.
I'm trying to think action films starring him, and the only other one that I can think of that he has in the name Johnny
Is John Wick.
not. Oh no!
Oh, no.
Johnny Mnemonic.
Oh my god.
But he's not a federal agent in that.
Hey,
Shit.
no, you Google it.
No Googling.
I'm not googling
All right,
anything.
yeah, well,
We're just having
Do we
trouble
have
getting that
anyone
video
in the
up.
live feed that knows this question?
all right. Do you give up?
I give up.
Well, there's only one person on the live feed right now.
Oh,
Two. Okay.
shit.
We may have to re-ask the question.
Anybody on the live feed? In what film did Keanu Reeves play federal agent Johnny Utah?
That'd be a no. Okay.
No. All right. Yeah, well, Point Break.
Oh,
Wow.
damn.
Point Break.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm so disappointed in myself right now.
I'm going to be honest. It's been a while since I've seen Point Break.
Yeah.
Or the Keanu Reeves version, anyway.
And what actress starred as the titular character in the 2014 film Lucy?
Scarlett Johansson.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Of course.
We'll move on to some comedy ones.
I know a little bit more about
I
comedy.
loved that movie.
All right. This one I picked
Good film?
because it's
It was a good film.
Okay.
Everything is Awesome is the theme song to which 2014 film?
Lego! Everything is awesome. Everything is cool when you're part of a team. Everything is awesome when you live like me.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
Everything is Awesome. The Lego movie. All right, and let's see here. That one's too easy.
That one's no. Come on, dude, just ask him. You don't have to skip over anything.
In which 2013 film starring Johnny Knoxville is Irving Zisman as Irving Zisman? So which 2013 film starred Johnny Knoxville as Irving Zisman?
It's got to be like Bad Grandpa or something.
Yeah.
On the nail.
That'd be his
It's like, I know this.
his recurring character. Yeah.
I couldn't remember what Grandpa's name was.
In which restaurant is the film Waiting set in?
Oh, it's like a Bennigan's, isn't it? No.
Close.
Denny's?
No.
What?
Shenanigans.
Shenanigans. Bennigan's.
Close.
Shenanigans. That was close.
That was
I
really
went way
close.
off base with the Denny's comment, and yeah.
Alright. So, what is the name of the fortune-telling machine in Big? I didn't see these ones.
Zoltar. Zoltar?
Did I watch Big?
Zoltar.
I'm trying to remember if
Speaks.
I saw
Zoltar
that.
Speaks. That's
You never
the
seen
old
Big?
80s
I don't know.
movie where the kid goes to the
Okay,
carnival
then I
and
know
says,
that
I want to
I
be
didn't
big,
see it.
and turns into...
He turns into
He wakes up the next day in his bunk bed as Tom Hanks, basically.
Okay. I don't think I did see that.
That
I'll have
is
to watch it, though.
definitely worth a watch.
If you have not seen it, you must watch it.
I will.
Yeah, starts as a little kid. He hates his life. Becomes an adult, and then realizes,
He hates his life even more as
Maybe
an
being a
adult.
kid is a lot better than
Hey, being an adult.
This shit's hard.
We can't win.
Anybody watching Big as an adult looks at the kid and goes, "You fucked up."
Well, no, even seeing him as an adult, it's like, wow, your life's pretty freaking awesome. You know?
Yeah.
Right? If I could only treat adulthood like that kid treated adulthood, that's fall into it.
So
Fall
what's-
into a job, testing toys.
Yeah. Oh, this one's awesome. I got a trampoline in my room. Like, all right, dude, bro.
Sure. Yeah.
I'd love to. Give
can-
me that job. Yeah, anybody need that job done?
You confused the woman that was
Yeah.
hitting on you. You were gonna go and bounce on a trampoline. Oh, we really are just okay.
Oh, he broke her poor heart. Like, just watch it. I don't want to
I will.
spoil it anymore.
I will watch
for
it.
you.
Yeah.
So, what supernatural creatures are the main characters in What We Do in the Shadows?
Vampires.
Correct, sir. See, this is why I asked the questions. I don't want to be pit against this.
And I have never seen the movie, so I just guess.
Well.
Well, that's also one of those things. Like what creature in the
Yeah.
shadows? It's like, all right, we got werewolves, vampires.
That was just honestly
power
that was like
production.
a maybe 1 in 3 shot. There.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, no, there's a lot. Wendigos and
I'm sure.
I've seen like
I haven't had anything stalk me in the shadows lately, so
So
everything's good.
they're just really good at stalking you. That's the thing.
All of my stalkers live far, far away. I'm good.
We got some views in what countries?
Yeah, apparently we're being listened to in Ireland and Greece and over in England.
Nice.
So I want to go and do a little advertisement through Facebook, try to broaden that a little bit. But
Yeah.
we'll get there when we get there.
I got some supporters over in Ireland and Iceland, England. There's a couple people in Australia. It's really cool.
Nice.
All right. So one more trivia
Nice.
question, then we're going to go ahead and move on to the question of the day.
All right. So in the what is the name of the detective in the Pink Panther film series?
Oh,
Shit.
Inspector Clouseau.
There you go.
Inspector Clouseau.
God, I gotta.
Now, have you seen both versions of the Pink Panther? The Steve Martin version and now my brain has just leaked out. Why am
I
I?
don't think I ever actually watched any of the Pink Panther movies.
Never?
I saw the Steve Martin version.
I didn't like
No,
Steve
the-
Martin as Inspector Clouseau, I'll be honest.
I think the only things I actually liked Steve Martin in really was the Father of the Bride.
You didn't like.
Then you
Cheaper by the
haven't
Dozen?
seen the old Steve Martin movies, like The Man with Two Brains or The Jerk. Just the kitten juggling scene.
I mean, Steve Martin's like not a bad actor.
You've got to watch some of his older stuff.
Yeah.
Like his newer stuff is he's in dad mode.
He's that typical dad that I don't.
You got to get him before he was in dad mode.
Yeah.
Yeah. Still had silver hair. You know, he's been gray forever. I think he was born with gray hair. He had it for so long. But
Vampires don't age. And
well, like I said, he's had gray hair forever before it became vogue to wear gray hair at 20. You know. All right, so we're going to go ahead and move into the question of the day. And today's question is, oh dear, I forgot how to word it. Today's question is in my head, but apparently not able to roll out off of my tongue. So today's question is, what comedy buddy duo, or what two comedy buddy teams would you put in a movie together to make sort of the perfect crossover? See, I rolled off my tongue and it didn't roll off correctly.
I have to agree with what you guys said earlier. Fucking Jay and Silent Bob with Bill and Ted.
Right?
that would be.
That would be amazing.
I would just Step Brothers versus with Jay and Silent Bob. I feel like
Jay and Silent Bob would just hate the Step Brothers.
they would corrupt them like completely.
Yeah.
Like smoke this weed. You've never done this before. Like they're just like the bad kids in the corner, just like instead of licking dog shit, they're like, here, try this marijuana. You know what I mean? And
What are you doing?
they get into like some crazy shenanigans.
Yeah, because they already have like a 13-year-old mentality.
Yeah. They both do like
Yeah.
in different aspects. It's like the bad team.
No, Jay and Silent Bob, I feel like they're like a little more mature than the Step Brothers.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
They're the little bit older kids that
they're,
like.
they're completely stupid, but they got their heads in the right place.
So I'm going to say another Will Ferrell movie here. Will Ferrell, Chris Kattan is the two brothers from Night of the Roxbury. And you
Okay.
put them in the same film as Wayne and Garth. So you got two guys that are basically disco club guys. You know, they're very much into the 80s music. They dress 80s from head to toe. And then you go and put them up against Wayne and Garth. Just
Yeah.
two completely competing styles of music and mentality. That would be pretty funny.
No, this.
Deep thinking. You had a lot to say about that.
I
You
did
were-
it now.
Yeah.
Like drawing a blank. I had my antidote today. Yeah.
You had your antidote today.
Some marijuana in my
That was
brain.
a private joke, right? Or not a private joke, but a joke that nobody was really privy to. We didn't send that one out on the airwaves.
We did not, but it's taken a while for the antidote to kick in.
Toasty toast.
Yeah, I can go ahead. I'll go and end the podcast by telling that little
You're more than able
speech.
to do
That'd
so.
be fun.
But as for like the duos, though,
Well, there's a lot of fun people that you could throw in there, like comedy duo pairings.
so I guess you do like James. I feel like James Franco and Seth Rogen
From the interview.
From the interview.
Oh,
No,
they've done
just
it. They've done stuff. together
Yeah,
several
just
times.
they're all the same. They're the same character.
Well, we're not just talking about like just the actors themselves. We're talking about the characters. Which one would be fun to see play off of each other?
So then I have to switch it up, and it have to be.
Okay.
So the two from Your Highness, when James Franco is. James Franco's just like the dude, like, oh, like nothing bad ever happens.
Yeah.
And, he's his complete polar opposite, being Kenny Powers. I can't think of his name though. You know what I'm talking.
The names escape you, but I know what you're talking about.
Those two, once again, Step Brothers, because anybody's paired with Step Brothers.
Okay, I've got one for you. I'm gonna go with two buddy cop movies. Okay, so you've got Bruce Willis. And was it Tracy Morgan from Cop Out? And you put them in the same movie as Jackie Chan and Chris Tucker from the Rush Hour movies.
No, Jackie Chan and Chris Tucker with Sandra Bullock and what was her name?
Oh, Melissa McCarthy.
Melissa McCarthy.
From Heat.
Yes.
That would be pretty good too.
Yes.
Right. I'd like to see how that plays out.
That would be fantastic.
Okay, so next podcast, we're gonna move on from here. There's a lot of good pairings, but next podcast we're gonna be trying out a little something different. So we've decided that what we'd like to do is sort of like a little segment, and we're not sure if we're gonna make it sort of like a supplement for the podcast or if we're gonna make it a permanent placement. What we're gonna do is we're gonna basically come up with bad movie ideas.
Yeah.
So we're gonna kind of create a bad movie in our heads from the ground up.
Fredo, if you're watching this, you're gonna help me.
Throw a bunch of shit, put it in a blender, and then see what sticks when the thing explodes.
Where's the setting, time, place?
Setting, time, place. Put the absolute worst people. The
worst of the worst.
Worst of the worst. Yeah.
I'm in.
I'm down.
Throw Trump and Obama in a Saw type setting and see how that works.
Oh my god.
The movies would make it so that Obama would win.
Again, we're not a political podcast.
But I feel like it would be like Donald Trump. He would not be afraid to just cut his arm off, like instantly. You know what I mean?
No, not at all.
Well, he already scooped his brain out.
I'll
Might
get
as
a
well
new
go for
one.
the arm next.
You know. So in the setting, Donald Trump, I feel definitely would make it out of that Saw setting.
So I'm like the opposite of a lot of people politically. Like everybody's got this like massive opinion when it comes to politics, and I'm like, politicians just suck in general. I don't like any of them really. So I think we need to get back to what our legal system was back in the heydays of this country.
Separate church and state.
Oh, not even the separation of church and state.
From there, 2020.
Back when everything started, your average landowner were the people. Anybody could step up. A farmer could step up and become a politician. You know, you become a senator or congressman,
you don't
become
need all
the president.
This fucking bullshit.
No, it's a mess.
There's no power to the people.
Nope.
Okay, no more political crap.
Yeah, what's going on here?
I'm gonna pull my hair out here, and I don't have a lot of it.
That's for another podcast, another time.
Another podcast,
different
another kind of
podcast.
podcast altogether.
I'll definitely hop on that podcast too, but just remember, I'm the guy who says the things.
So that little story that we had off to the side earlier, we took a brief pause to do some mid-roll, and we were talking about Jehovah's Witnesses and how they kind of spring up at the worst times and come to your door, and everybody likes to avoid them. And had a lovely gentleman that I used to live near that he got arrested for something that he did to a couple of Jehovah's. And so he decided he was tired of the Jehovah's coming around where we lived, and one day they came and knocked on the door, and he invited them in very happily. Now this is the kind of guy that would do everything to keep them from coming in. He always answered the door, but he tried to freak them out, answered the door covered in pig's blood once, having his kids screaming in the background. Mind you, Jehovah's never called the cops on him even once. This time they did. He sits them down, invites these fellas in, and allows them to go into their little speech. Have you heard the word of God? Have you heard the good word? And he let them talk for a little bit, gave them each a cup of coffee, and they sat down and they talked to him. And about 15 minutes in, these guys are squirming in their seats. They're very uncomfortable. And this is the point that my buddy chooses to say, you might be feeling a little uncomfortable right now, and I'm going to let you know what's going on. And he places a pill in front of both of them, which, like I said, I don't know what it is. I'm not sure if it was a sugar pill, crushed up ibuprofen, but literally it was nothing. It was nothing that would help anything. And he tells them that he poisoned their coffee. All right. What he had actually done was he had put a powerful X-Lax that he had been prescribed into each of their coffees. And right now their stomachs are gurgling, and they get that feeling that you get when you've had something that, wants to blow everything out the back tailpipe.
Yeah.
And he's explaining to them that he's poisoned them, and he's explaining to them in a gruesome way, like, I've just given you something that right now, that gurgling you're feeling in your stomach, it's your organs liquefying, and I'm going to give you this pill if you guys promise to take your friends and never come back to this park ever again. And they obviously left, and obviously what he gave them does not counteract X-Lax, and so he gave them their little pills, and they took their little pills, and they headed the hell out of there, and they gathered their friends. And the only thing that I can imagine afterwards are these two young men clutching onto their toilets for dear life, phone in one hand, screaming at 911 that this guy's killed them, and they're shitting up a storm. And
they
the cops
think that
came to his
their
door.
body is liquefying from the inside out.
Well, the cops came to his door and arrested him that evening, and I'm not sure what they charged him with, but they never came around there again.
Yeah, it just takes a little bit of time for the Indigo to kick in, and it's okay. We're gonna be okay.
I guarantee you, there had never been two young men praying to God harder before.
God, Buddha, anybody, I don't care. Whoever shows themselves right now, you'll be the one I'm following. That's why they never showed up
Just
again.
make the shit stop. Oh my goodness.
Did they make it home?
I have not. I honestly, I don't think they did anything in the park. However,
splurging.
I can imagine if it was as powerful a laxative as he said it was, they probably didn't make it back to wherever they were going.
They probably didn't make it to the end of the stairs.
They probably had to make it to the most local McDonald's, or hell, they probably pulled over to the side of the road. I mean, it is the middle of
bush.
This is the middle of Georgia we're talking about.
Georgia.
Probably ducked to the shrubbery or pooped in somebody's front yard.
Yeah.
And it's a normal sight. Hey, George is over there shitting on the front lawn again. Should we call the cops? No, man, we need the fertilizer. Leave it there.
Oh my goodness.
But yeah, so that was highly entertaining. I figured I don't know how that Jehovah's thing came up, but
So, because it's the antidote.
the antidote. Oh, yeah, we were talking about.
But but them just rocking back and forth.
The antidote. Yes.
It's gonna take a little bit for it to kick in. It's gonna be okay. It's just a little bit.
But yeah, it's been fun sitting with y'all, and y'all. Oh, jeez, I got away from Georgia, and I can't get away from that word.
Yeah.
It has been fun sitting with everybody and shooting the shit today, and hopefully I'm not the shit you're looking to shoot.
We all know that's gonna end up being me with one of the things I say. So.
And like I said, you can find us on iTunes. You can find us on Podcoin, the Google app for podcasts, because I don't own an Android phone at all. I don't know what that is.
Yeah.
Most of your podcasting apps, you can find us, and if not, we are on Facebook under Cinematic Anarchy. We are also under on Twitter on Cinematic Anarch 1, and of course you can find Miss B also on Facebook at Honeybee Kind on TikTok, and Zeph. Well, we're trying to work you into social media.
My name is Seth Lenig. I'm the only Seth Lenig in the world.
You giving out your full real name? You can spam the hell out of him. Find him on Facebook.
You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, and it's all Seth Lenig.
No privacy needed. Oh dear.
The only one in the world.
And if you're another Seth Lenig in this world, I will find you.
You will find.
Well
just kidding. No, I really looked it up, and I'm the only one.
Oh my gosh.
Speaking of stalkers, jeez.
Yeah, right?
Seth, oh
Shit.
my.
There can only be one.
You can see Seth performing karaoke Saturday nights over at the Oriental Garden.
Now you tell them where I'm at. They can find my Facebook. But yeah, no, for real. I'm a karaoke fiend.
All right. Hey, thank you all for tuning in again. You all have a wonderful day, afternoon, night. It doesn't really matter. Bye.
I like that ending. It doesn't matter. Bye.